While relaxing on the beach, no one wants to think about how the ocean has basically become a big garbage soup. But the reality is there are millions of tons of debris floating in that water, and most of it is plastic. Plastic pollution is one of the greatest threats to the environment. Hi, this is Saffat Tahrim and I will be talking about how to combat plastic pollution. More than 8 million tons of plastic enter ocean every year. Yet, 3 of the biggest cleanup companies deal with only 0.5% of that pollution. This crisis urgently calls all the innovators, industries, and governments to develop a systematic solution that will prevent plastic from becoming a waste in the first place. What is plastic? Plastic is a non-biodegradable substance that has petroleum and PVC materials in it. Both production and destruction of plastic exposes environment to various toxic elements that threatens our ecology, ends up killing thousands of animals every year. How do we combat plastic pollution? Everyone can do at least something to reduce plastic wastage, and starting with the simplest things like reducing our use of single-use plastic materials like polybags, participating in cleanup events, supporting bans. While there was ban on usage of polybags, but it turns out that most of us people weren't supportive of it, and that resulted in increasing the pollution of plastic. We should definitely make manufacturers aware of the usage of microbeads, as microbeads has plastic substances in it, and that ends up harming our environment. And we should also support organizations that addresses plastic pollution, support their cause, and follow the solutions that they are providing. While we can encourage people to go green and use eco-friendly products in place of plastic products, for example, we could use paper bags instead of plastic bags, we could use eco-friendly bottles, eco-friendly furnitures, etc. But not everyone will be motivated, as opting for eco-friendly solution would cost more, and most of us people are inclined towards materials that we have easier access to and are cheaper. So what we should really focus on is recycling of plastic materials. And we can recycle plastic materials into so many innovative products. The variety is huge. Like we could make plastic furnitures, accessories, showpieces, and then not only that, people have been coming up with even more innovative ideas. People have been building houses with plastic bottles, and the basic idea is that they replace the use of bricks with bottles. And while that is not exactly feasible for building 10-story buildings, but it gives a good foundation for at least 1 or 2 story. And since it reduces costs by a huge amount, what rural people can do is implement this idea. And not only that, people can build solar panels with plastic bottles, solar water heaters, there are street lights, skylights, etc. But for proper recycling, what we must do is build a strong supply chain model for collecting waste plastics materials. And for that, what we must do is incentivize people to collect trash. And what we could do is pay people for collecting trash. And in a country like ours, where there are so many people roaming in the street and unemployed, what they can do is collect trash and even earn from it. We should definitely organize more cleanup events and give people incentives, motivate them to collect plastic wastages. And we must develop a better system of trashing. While collecting trashes from different houses, what we must do is provide 2 bags, one where people will trash wastages that are not biodegradable, and in other where people will collect wastages that are biodegradable. And in that way we can separate these 2 items very easily and send the non-biodegradable elements to the manufacturers who will be working on recycling plastic. So the logic behind focusing mainly on recycling plastic is that we can completely eliminate the use of plastics ever, but what we can do is reduce the amount of wastage by building a strong supply chain where people can actually work on recycling plastic materials. And for that, we all need to bring changes within ourselves, because each one of us can make a difference. If we work for it, we can actually build a world where our ecology doesn't have to be threatened and thousands of animals don't have to die every year. Together, we can make change. Thank you.